Welcome back, man. We got your boy, man, Mogul Mo in the building, man. Beat the traffic, man. What's
The
going on, man?
the GOAT, man. Like I told y'all, the real estate young king, man. Look at this dude. He in his bag real quick. He got look. Peep the Brandon. You feel me? Good Mogul Mo. You mean?
That hoodie is fire.
Definitely fire. I might need to grab me one of them, low
I
key.
definitely gotta get the merch out there.
Yeah. So what's up, man? We were talking about the pandemic going on. We were talking about a little bit about this PUA money, a little bit about the unemployment and employment and worker issue that the country's having right now. But first, I know we wanted to hear, just tell us a little bit about you, man. Tell us a little bit about your background and a little bit about what you do.
Yeah, no doubt, bro. So Mogul Mo, 23-year-old real estate investor, entrepreneur, also credit repair specialist. So really that's what I do. I repair credit, and I also just try to help people be able to get into real estate. I got a lot of things coming as far as mentorship and things of that nature. But right now I'm a real estate investor, 14 units that I've been able to build over the last 3 years. Been investing in real estate since I was 20.
Man, so for those of you who don't know, because he just said a whole lot of things right now, man. It might not sound like a lot, but this dude has been putting in the work since, like he just said, he was 20. He's 23 right now. That's 3 years, 356 days a year. Or I'm sorry, 365 days a year, trying to make sure that he puts himself in a position to better himself every day for his future.
Honestly, he's been putting in the work ever since we were kids. For y'all don't know, me and Mo are we're cousins, and honestly, he's had it in him since we were young, and I knew he was gonna be great, whether it was football or something else. Like he was gonna be it, cause I just know, like, the determination, the attitude behind it all. I know firsthand. I can just really just tell what type of man he is.
I definitely appreciate that, bro. I like you know what I mean, it's easy to say that about yourself, but I definitely agree with that. Like, even since I was young, it's like a lot like, we gonna get into it throughout here, but like just talking about how you got to where you are, like even when I was young, bro, like I always just had a different kind of focus than like everybody. It just seemed like when I was like 5-6 years old, like everybody playing in the grass and shit, like during football practice, like I would be like, yo, let's run the next play. Like I don't know, like even since I was young, I always was like focused on what was going on. I swear.
I remember I remember the first time I met you, besides on the against the Stowe Rocks teams. It was just I was like, yo, he was like, you know me, Moses.
I don't even remember that.
Real good middle school job, man. Definitely
I can
been.
see him doing it though.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah,
just
back then
funny. He had the mohawk, bro. Little mohawk.
But that was like 11, 12s. Like,
Yeah.
I was wild back then.
That
No.
was the beginning of Booby Miles.
Yeah, boo. Yeah.
Booby Miles right there.
No cap. The original Twitter name, original Instagram, all that.
Hey man, most of everybody just know you as a Twitter personality now. They don't even really. That's why you here, because you just a Twitter personality nowadays, man. They think they just think you sit all day with the meek fingers, man. You know.
They be getting me out of there on Twitter. They be blocking my pages. I be having
hey bro, because you just be trying to cause trouble, man. Sometimes I see
I'm definitely
it.
a troll. I'm for surely a troll.
You be trying to be up there with Elon and them, man.
Surely a troll.
Maybe one day, man.
Yeah, facts.
But so tell us a little bit about how you got started into where you are right now. Tell us a little bit about what kind of your rag from riches story.
Bet. So throughout, you know what I mean, when I was young, like mostly everybody thought I was going to the NFL or whatever. I was definitely good at football, if I say so myself.
Yeah, they was tweaking you whenever you came to Perry. They was like, yo, you heard about Richard Giles from, what was it, North Hills or Quip?
I went to North Hills and I went to Evanworth.
Okay.
So like when I went to North Hills, I was the first freshman to ever start since LeVar Arrington played for North Hills. I got kicked out of there, went to Evanworth. 10th grade, had 21 touchdowns, 1,200 yards.
What was that like? I don't mean to cut you off. What was that like as far as you getting kicked out and having to go to a new school? Did that kind of affect you in any way, or did you just kind of brush it off and just not pay no mind? Because there's a lot of different ways that could have kind of changed your direction.
it was just a lot, bro. Like when I was young, I just wish, like, not to talk down, that everybody just believed in me as much as I believed in myself, bro. It would have just been a whole lot different. Because I definitely knew the potential I had. You just got to be in the right position. Like, with sports, it's a lot about being in the right position. Like, no matter how good you is, if you ain't in the right position, you ain't seen by the right people, kind of like being an artist, like doing rapping. You could be the best rapper ever, but
like
if you...
hottest bars,
all that.
100%.
All that. But if you're not seen by the right people and in the right position, it's just not going to happen for you. So, I always knew that even when I was young. And, like, I was trying to... The reason I got kicked out of North Hills is because I didn't want to go to Perry. I didn't want to go to a city school. I was catching 2 buses and walking, like, a mile every day just to go to school. And then they ended up finding out I didn't live in the district, and I got kicked out. So, like, just be a lot of shit behind, like, everything that went on.
That must have been a huge blow to you to trying to do all this just to put yourself in a better predicament, a better situation, so that you didn't have to go to a city school. And then, I mean, you could have balled out there, but would it even meant anything to you as far as where you wanted to be, as far as being an NFL star? You wanted to take the opportunity and do the best you could. You was trying to go to one of those big schools, and they really tried to cut your legs out from under you.
No, facts. And another thing about going to city school, it's just like the people I grew up around, like my friends and shit. I just know I can't be around them all the time, and like you just get into all types of different stuff.
That's a whole nother story. I definitely feel that.
Yeah, facts. So it was a little bit of both, honestly. The sports and also just trying to stay out of different stuff that I started even getting into in middle school. So yeah, it was a little bit of both.
So tell us a little bit about after sports. So when you realized that you might have came to your peak, or not even your peak necessarily, that you think that there really wasn't nothing more for you. What kind of changed? What did you figure out that you had to do to really do something with your life? We can't just sit on our asses all day, you know.
Facts. So I always looked at sports as like my way, like out. So like as soon as football season ended, my 12th grade year, my grades wasn't there. I knew I wasn't trying to go JUCO. I wasn't trying to do none of that because I really fell out of love with it. Like after I got kicked out of Evanworth, I'm not gonna lie, I really fell out of love with like football for real. So after that point, I just really started I gotta get some money. So I started doing what I needed to do to get some money. 12th grade, I actually stopped going to school, got my own crib, all, like, you know what I mean, whole transition throughout 12th grade. And I actually didn't end up graduating school after I figured out that football wasn't it. Like, I never really fucked with school. I was really just there just for football. After I knew that wasn't it, stopped going to school, got my own crib, doing what I was doing, working, and just grind it up to get where I'm at now, I swear.
I think that mindset, how once football was it for you, how you like it, the school really wasn't it. I think you're an example of how it can go right, but I think there's so many examples of how once sports is up for many of our youth, many of our black men, it's just up for school then, and then they just turn towards other BS, and just it's a spiral from there.
I agree, and I think that a lot of people just never find themselves outside of sports. Like, that was a big thing for me. Like, I never wanted that to define me. I just had to find my new identity. Because, like, me personally, like just speaking factual, like, I've always been a star. Like, since I started playing sports at 5 years old, I've been the star of every team, like, I played for. So, like, I just had to find that new role in life of being that star. And I just found it throughout being, like, an entrepreneur. Like, that's just in me, like, to be a superstar, to be, like, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. That's just how I am personally. I just want to be the person in the room. So I just had to find my lane to do that outside of sports.
Tell us a little bit more about the entrepreneur mindset and what comes with it, because everybody can say don't work a 9 to 5, go into business for yourself, but it takes a different type of mindset. I just saw something on Twitter. They were saying the entrepreneur versus the investor. I consider myself an investor. I mean, I got a little bit of entrepreneur, little business things I do on the side, but look, man, it is so much easier to invest. I'll just give somebody my money, yo. If you're doing it right, I mean, that's cool. I'm going to get my returns. I'm good with that. That's a whole different animal to really go into business for yourself and take on those risks.
Bro, there is nothing wrong with a 9 to 5. I'm not one of them.
What? Hold up. Y'all, cause look, I could probably go on it. Somebody scroll up on this man's Twitter, cause I guarantee you,
bro, I may come off like that, but I wouldn't be where I am today if it wasn't for my 9 to 5. I got a opportunity, blessed by God. No high school diploma, no nothing. I lied on my application, but
hey man, you gotta do what you gotta do, bro. Look, you gotta do what you got. Look, you man. I'm not. I was gonna say something, but I might get it.
You definitely do, and that's what I'm saying. I always just did what I had to do. So blessing at 19, I landed a 50K a year job at PNC, being a business associate. So yeah, not even an entry level job, like 2 levels, but ahead of entry level. Just because I had a good interview, I was able to get like 50K a year to work at PNC at like 19. So like 19 right before I turned 20. So that really boosted me like to where I am today. Like, cause without that, you know
that was you were able to put the foundation in.
Facts.
So you heard that, folks. Don't quit your 9 to 5 without a plan or without, you know, I mean, you see he had a 9 to 5 job making 50K. That people don't, that's not average, you know. That, I mean, well, that actually kind of is roughly average, but for his age, you said you was
like 19.
Yeah, ain't no 19, 20-year-old black man making 50K a year. That's, I mean, that's like high tier. That's definitely high tier. So don't quit your 9 to 5 without a plan. I think everybody should have a route and have a direction to have financial freedom to the point where they don't have to just work for somebody and do something they don't want to do. But don't be dumb.
And I couldn't imagine being an entrepreneur without having real estate. Like, don't quit your 9 to 5 before you pretty much have no expenses. Like, it was easy for me to be an entrepreneur. That's why I can't tell nobody else to do it, because I don't have no expenses, bro. Like all my expenses are covered by rental properties. Like, so seriously, like, since I bought my first property, I had no expenses because I bought a property. It was a duplex. My mortgage was $1,000. I charged $950 in rent. I really have no expenses. So it's easy for me to say be an entrepreneur because I really don't pay for shit.
Right. That y'all heard that, folks. That's the house hack right there, man. Get a duplex. Make sure get a FHA loan. What is it, like 3% down?
3.5%.
Yeah,
it need a 640 credit score.
It ends up paying for itself. Make sure you have, a couple bands just in case you gotta buy a new fridge or a pipe break, something like that. You always gotta make sure you have a foundation and put yourself up. But that just comes down to mindset. You have to be in a mindset to where another thing, you always have to have an asset that pays for a liability. If you're going to get a liability, you shouldn't be paying for that out of pocket. A lot of people get a new job, up their income, and all of a sudden they up their expenses, up their liabilities. That's the key to losing your wealth right there.
Facts. Income creep and expense creep. Yeah, for sure. That's not what you want to do. You want to keep your income going up and keep your expenses down as much as you can.
So you've been doing investing in crypto, anything like that lately, man?
Yeah, so I be investing in crypto and stocks, but it don't last too long because I just buy a crib. Like, I'll invest in crypto and stocks for like a month or two because I don't put my money in the savings.
You take them profits.
I take them profits, or even if I'm losing, or even if I'm still even, like, an opportunity comes up and I just liquidate it all basically, and then just buy a crib. Like right now, I bought 3 cribs this year already.
Major 3 cribs.
I swear. So
he said 3 cribs.
Yeah, bro. So it just be.
Bro, let me hold a room.
I got you, man. If you need a room, I got you.
I bet, man. I'll pay rent. You know what I'm saying? I ain't even going to be on me.
Got you, bro. But yeah, man. So
that's really wild to think about it, though. Especially like I tell you all the time, I'm proud of where you at right now. But to really see. And just to hear that, like, you just bought 3 cribs, like, bro, like, that's like, to fathom that's beyond.
The first one is the hardest, bro. After you buy the first crib.
Well, that's like the first 100K is the hardest too.
Yeah.
I still ain't there.
We still
ain't there.
I still ain't there.
We still working on that. Yeah, we still working on that.
Right.
It's gonna come though. It's gonna come. That's just driving determination, man.
For sure.
That's that I'm trying to get that. I'm trying to get that in the stocks and the crypto. You just can't have them paper hands, man. A lot of people get scared on the dips. Bear market is a bull market is where you make money. A bear market makes you rich. That's really what it comes down to with the crypto thing, with the stocks thing. I'm not an investment advisor yet. That's coming. Yeah, that's coming. But you got to understand that if you're buying into something, your plan at all times should be to really never sell it. That should be your number one goal. If you're just getting into investment, start with, okay, let me buy something that I'm going to hold forever. Or at least plan to hold for the next 10, 20, 30 years. Because when you talk about short-term investing, that's a whole nother ball game that a lot of people really don't have the stomach for. Sometimes I don't even have the stomach for it. I mean, crypto.
And don't have the money for it.
Yeah, that's another thing. Crypto just dropped another, I think, 10%, like between 5 and 10%.
Ethereum is under like. It's near like 3,700. Bitcoin is at like 45.
So
45,000 right now.
Yeah, Ethereum. I actually bought back into it like maybe 40 minutes before we got here because it hit 3,400. So I'm like, oh, bye.
I've been buying Ethereum all weekend.
I'm telling you, and that ADA that ADA is gonna go crazy. If not this cycle, the next one.
ADA went crazy.
It ain't go crazy.
Not
yet.
Crazy. It went up. It went to 210.
So I unfortunately, I mean, I still have some coins, don't get me wrong, but unfortunately I sold, I'd say I sold more than 50% of them when it shot up from, I'd say if I bought in around 0.09, I probably sold around 176. So that's a great increase, but would like to have gotten that to the 236 one, but so I bought back into some more. I'm expecting it to go down a little bit, but the thing is that's one that could probably, you're looking at maybe $6 to $8 price target within this year. And even if it doesn't hit that, I'm looking towards the next crypto cycle, which it could go on run similar to what Litecoin. I don't think it will do what Ethereum's done, but they call it the Ethereum killer. I mean, I don't really agree with that, but you know.
We're gonna see.
Yeah.
Tell us about your book, man.
My book. So so I wrote a book. That was crazy, man.
Yeah, like, what was it like to write a book? Like,
bro, it was just like how I do everything else, bro. It was like I just keep getting DMs about how do I get into real estate, blah blah blah, and I was just one day I was like, bro, I'm just about to write a book, bro. So I just wrote a book, and it took me like, I wrote it in like a month. So crazy thing about me, I put pressure on myself. I dropped a pre-sale. I didn't have a book written at all. So I bought a crib.
That's a deadline. Oh, that's heat. Yeah.
Yeah. I bought a crib.
Talk about a buzzer beater.
Before I buy a house, I always think to have something to follow up to sell, because I know my page goes crazy whenever I buy houses. So I was like, what am I going to sell this time? And I was like, all right, I'm just going to do a book. So I dropped a pre-sale. I went on Gumroad, made a pre-sale, put the link in there. I made the pre-sale before I even had the book written. And I dropped the book within a month, and I got a lot of good reaction from it. Still getting good reaction from it. People still buying it. Still linking, still in my bio, Mogul Mo, Instagram, Facebook. But like a lot of people just really appreciate it, bro. I talk about the FHA, how to get like the details of an FHA in there. I talk about how to analyze a deal. I talk about how to find deals. A lot of people's problem right now is finding deals. It's not easy.
Yeah, the housing market in Pittsburgh is trash. Y'all bought all the houses up. I know y'all didn't, but
all the retail is, to be a retail buyer right now is dead.
Yeah.
If you're not already in the game, you need to link with somebody who's in the game.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, but that goes for a lot of stuff. Like, you just got to get yourself around the right people. But
networking is key. That's what he's saying. Networking is key.
Everything.
Another thing, because I bet you're probably gonna get some DMs or what have you from people trying to get into real estate off of this. Buy his book. That's if you want to talk to him, buy his book.
Honestly,
DM him, tell him that you bought his book after you read it, and if you have any questions, then that would probably be the best way.
You know how many people just DM me and didn't buy nothing from me? Like, I'm not rude.
Oh, I hate that.
But I'm not rude, so I respond, but only to a certain extent. And people be like, bro, answer your phone, bro, call me. I'm like, bro, what am I going to call you, answer my phone for? Like, you ain't never did no business with me. But you know how many people became like friends and then got money and then became partners and like did stuff on their own just from buying credit repair? They might not even fully need their credit repair. They just did it just so they could know that they could have conversations with me. And I've done that with other people. Like I bought people's products I didn't even
just
want
to talk to
just
them,
to talk to
just
them.
to pick their brain. That's the point. That's
Right.
that's what a lot of it comes down to. That's what a lot of it comes down
It's
to.
just about getting into the room with people.
Yeah, me and Clee be having that problem, man. So many people be hitting us up about stocks, about like a lot of the crypto stuff, about what we think. And I'm not saying it because I'm by no means an expert. Like I'm really bottom tier, but I do a lot of due diligence, and I'm making my money right now. So so is Clee, and so there's that. We really hate when people when we got things posted, or we like, you know how to link with us, you know how to get it, and you just like, hey, talk to me about this. Hey, it's just like
They
when
want
friends,
it for free. They want the sauce for free.
when
man.
friends
You
do
can't
that,
get it
when
for
friends
free.
do that, I don't really have a problem with it, especially if like we real tight. Like I like me and you was just talking about 88 the other day. Like that's just, I'm just talking to you about it type. Like there's no like you asking me for it. Like we just chatting. I really hate when people just expect for free. Like they don't want to pay. Like you gotta pay to play. You gotta pay to play.
man.
You gotta
Hey.
pay to play, man. Gotta pay to play.
So we're back with Codebreakers podcast, back with Mogul Mo, man, the Avonworth assassin.
I like it. That's tough.
So with the credit, so what got you started with doing the credit repair?
So yeah, bro. So credit repair, I really just like it just came upon me, bro. Like since I was 20, I had to figure out how to get my credit right to buy my first piece of property. So I've always known about credit, always been educated in the credit field. Been helping everybody around me get their credit together that whole time for 3-4 years, but I never charged anybody for it. It was just like stuff I would learn, and I would just be like, oh, did you know this?
Off the strength.
Just off the strength. But like I started getting a lot of questions, a lot of people coming to me like, bro, I'm trying to get into real estate, but I need my credit together, my credit's not here. So it was just really, it came to me more than me seeking it. So like more came to me. I was just like, let me just take this course. I took a course to really learn how to repair people's credit, how to get the negative items off. Everything else I really knew. So like when I see people trying to learn how to do credit repair, there's two parts of it. Like getting negative items and stuff like that off is one part, but anybody can do that, honestly, as long as you know what you're doing, because as long as you know what letters it's in. But the second part is the education, and that's what a lot of people are missing. That's why a lot of people get called scam artists and frauds whenever they charge somebody for credit repair, because somebody asks you a question, you don't have the information to be able to answer it. So like I feel like that's what makes me different, is I can answer questions about how to get a car, how to get a crib. I know all those different processes.
So what would happen if you like didn't write one of these like credit letters like the correct way? Like would it be like serious? Like would any serious penalties to that person?
No. So what really happens is the shit just won't get deleted. So like there's no serious penalty or anything like that of that sort. They will respond and basically just say it's not getting deleted. Sometimes stuff just doesn't get deleted because for different reasons. It'll take a whole episode to get into that. But just stuff doesn't get deleted. But there's no really serious penalty if it's not written correctly. It just will stay on their credit report.
I think, isn't it like 76% of items on a credit report can be false? Like that's like how many credit reports there are compared to people, and how much information can just be like miscalculated or just written incorrectly.
100% incorrect addresses, incorrect dates that things report, incorrect amounts, balances, all types of different erroneous and different incorrect things on people's credit report. Yep.
And if it's incorrect, guys, guess what? It gotta go.
Facts, and it's a law. So that's the thing people don't know about credit repair. I'm really repairing people's credit by like following the law, because there's just a lot of acts and different things that the Fair Credit Reporting Act that protects you from the credit bureaus and for them being able to send false information, have false information on your credit report.
Yeah, as a consumer, a lot of people don't realize when battling against the credit card companies, we actually have a lot more leverage than in pretty much any other predicament. So you really got to take advantage of what is allowed in the law and what they are not allowed to do in the law. One of the biggest things Mo was talking about is education. So he could come and fix your credit for you, but a year later, if you don't have the education and mindset to maintain the levels that you need to be at and get where you need to go, you might be back in the same place.
100%.
So he could get your credit score up from a 550 to a 650, but you could be back down there 3 months later. It's really about him giving you the tools, giving you the education, and you really using them to your advantage.
100%, bro. And I have a lot of people that came through me and was able to get vehicles, able to get houses, whole lot of stuff that they just wouldn't been able to do if they may have went to someone such as like Lexington Law, like that. You know what I mean? Giving anybody a shout out, but that's just a broad. Yeah, no free shout out. It's just a broad company that like doesn't really talk to you. Like I pride myself on being reachable. So like if you go to a huge company like that, yes, they may be able to get stuff off. I'm gonna get stuff off. We're gonna do the same thing, but you're never gonna talk to nobody there. They're never gonna be able to guide you on the next steps once your credit is repaired and how to build your credit.
You're paying for the personable experience, definitely the personable experience. And I mean, I like to buy black personally. You may not like Mr. Twitter personality, but I mean, he's black, so we could buy black.
But why don't people like my Twitter personality, bro? Like I really want to get into that. Like what about my Twitter personality you believe rubs people the wrong way?
So all right, so if we're being completely honest, not knowing you, how you can sometimes come off on Twitter is an arrogant black man with money, and people don't like us being arrogant and having money. So
Right.
that becomes.
So what do they want you to do?
They want us to be humble, bro. They want us to be humble. They want us to be quiet about it. They don't want us to. They want us to go build some shit.
Okay, but I've never seen nobody else that has money and that are comfortable within themselves be uncomfortable with somebody else talking about what they've done.
I like that. That's
So if you're uncomfortable with somebody else talking about their accomplishments, you just need to work on yourself, and that's how I feel.
You think that's a huge red flag to the insecurities that they have?
100%. I don't feel any type of way about somebody talking about their accomplishments. I don't understand why you would if you're comfortable within yourself. Even if you feel like there's a whole lot of people that are above me as far as that, like in their progress so far, but when they say what they've done, that inspires me because I'm comfortable in what I'm doing and I know I'm going to continue growing. I don't, you know what I mean, look at it like that.
Okay, I like that. Do you think that there's a better mix and a better, you can have a what's the word I'm looking for? You can have, I can't think of it. Either way, you can have a better mix between like being humble and being arrogant.
Bro, if people knew my dad, they would understand that I'm humble, bro.
Okay.
Like if people knew Slick, they would be like, bro, you are a saint. Like what I come from, bro, and what I've been around, like I'm humble to me, bro. Like I be chilling. Okay. I could really be doing way more, bro. Okay. That's why I be so
have hit sick.
That's why I be so
really in their feelings.
That's why I be so throwing off, bro, cuz I don't get personal with nobody. I don't talk down on nobody. I just talk about myself, and you're mad at me. Even
when they get mad whenever you start to talk about the accomplishment. No, I definitely
even when people attack me, I don't even start talking about their life. I just be like, you know what I mean? It's crazy, bro.
I definitely like that. I like the logic. That definitely makes a lot of sense, and I definitely think if somebody didn't, they can have a better idea and understanding of why you think the way you think. Also, though, I think it comes into as a black man being successful, that's just there's just a certain level of stigma that comes with it. Like that's a unicorn almost. Like when you talk about the top 1% and of people, most black men only make 50K a year at max. And if you make 10K a month, look, you're up there. And I feel like there is definitely a healthy dose of arrogance, or not. I wouldn't say arrogance, confidence that can come with it. I'm arrogant personally, so that's. I mean, you know how I can get whenever I really hop in my bag. You know how I can. That's why I try my best to stay quiet, and just try to just perceive and see everything what's going around. Because I know sometimes when I do open my mouth, I can get in trouble. So that's why I made a podcast show.
So, Moski, what's been like the outreach on social media? Like, have you been getting any like traction from like outside the city, like across the state, like?
Bro, swear it's been super dope. So, my first Twitter before it got deleted and all that kind of stuff, I built a lot of good people, bro. Mm-hmm. Like people that's from California, My man's just moved from California to Texas. I'm going to his conference. He has a conference in Florida. We met off of Twitter. Another mentor of mine that I have, he's from Memphis. I met him strictly off of Twitter, and these are millionaires, billionaires, bro. And like what we just touched on, other people that are comfortable within themselves, they see what you're doing, and they see the way you talk, and they gravitate towards that. And I gravitate towards them as well. And we've built like solid, like real relationships via DMs. And now we text and talk, and I actually talk to these people, and these are people I would have never had the ability to be around or talk to if it wasn't for Twitter and the internet.
So I think that's something very important to touch on that some people might miss. So for those of you, so we all use Twitter, we all use Instagram. Keep in mind that what he uses Twitter for, even what I use Twitter for, like, don't get me wrong, like sometimes, not as much anymore since I deleted some of my tweets, but we use Twitter. I use Twitter to talk stuff sometimes, just to go back and forth, just to troll a little bit. But Twitter, especially me, especially him, Twitter makes us money. So you should be using that as a platform to build and put out whatever it is comfortable and whatever you enjoy. How he talked about what he was doing with credit, it started very, very organically. He was just helping his friends out. He got all these questions. He just figured, he's like, hey, I might as well like start charging these people. That's kind of what's going on with the investment thing with me and Clee. That's just really what it needs to be. Start organic, and you'll really find and be able to carve out your niche. You don't use Twitter just to talk about celebrity gossip, talk about what's going on with the rappers, just talk about your favorite mixtape. Like, that's cool and all, don't get me wrong, because Twitter is what you make it at the end of the day. But what I make it and what you make it can be two completely different things, or what he makes it and what you make it. And it really, you should be able to use it to the best of your ability. And that's for freedom to make money.
The experience is going to be different for everybody else.
Facts. No, that's facts. That's facts, bro. And that's what I try to tell people, like Twitter and Instagram too. Like I was reading something, and it said about how it used to be the 5 people that you're around, you're the average of those 5 people. They said now in the social media age, you're not around a lot of people, so it's really the average of the 5 people that you follow and that you look at their page the most is the median of who you would be. And I really agree with that. Like, when I really started changing my mindset and got on my financial tip and got on my real estate and all that, it was really me changing who I followed and who I was tapping in with. Like, you never know how much that will change everything. Like, if you're watching somebody's story every day and you're watching the same kind of stories of people inspiring you and showing you that stuff's possible, like, back in the day, you would never be able to know in a real estate investor that lived in California that was 25 and had 100 units. You would never even know that's possible. But now you could tap in with people like that and really know that type stuff is possible. And these people got courses. These people got events that you could go to. And it's all about investing in yourself at that point. But really just tapping in with and seeing that all that's possible. And I think that's super important to clean up your Instagram feed so it's not just shade room. You seeing a mix of stuff that's positive. Like, it's not about just seeing negativity all day on the Instagram.
100%, man. If all we seeing all day is black people can be rappers, black people can be these video vixens, we can be these superstar athletes. That's the only thing that we're gonna aspire to be. It's all about a mindset. It really is. I think everybody should take like a good month, 2 month, 3 month off of social media, especially if you use it for toxic purposes. Just kind of cleanse it, delete it from your phone if you don't know your passwords, and just put a lock on it. And just take some time to figure out, okay, what do you need to do? What's the position and predicament that you're in? If it's a good predicament, how can you better it? If it's a bad, what did you do to put yourself in that position? Because 9 times out of 10, unfortunately, you did put yourself in a position. It might not necessarily be all your fault, but
10 out of 10.
Not so. All right. So certain choices that you made put yourself. It's like a butterfly effect. 10 out of 10 though. I don't know about that, because to a certain extent you don't believe racism really affects black people, right?
I do not. I believe people need to stop that shit. That, like, no cop has ran down on none of y'all. There's nobody.
Whoa,
oppressing.
actually, that I'm a light skinned motherfucker, and I got thrown in cuffs.
All right, you got thrown in cuffs, but how did that affect your life? My point is, you never went through slavery. You are not oppressed. Like,
Okay, but
come
so
on,
are you?
bro.
So you're
I get
aware
that.
of the Harvard project with implicit biases?
Bro, there's all that, but all right, so
All right. So go into that. So do you know how implicit biases can
no,
affect
bro.
certain? So implicit biases, just look up. So we're black. We are gonna prefer like each other to prefer to be around in a room with each other before prefer to be surrounded by each
Right,
other.
that's not racism.
All right. I didn't say anything about being racist.
All right.
I said implicit biases exist.
All
Implicit
right.
biases go into stereotype. Let me finish. Goes into stereotypes, things like that. But when you have those implicit biases interacting on a scale where where one individual has power and the next individual does not have power.
So
That's
what stops you from having power? What stops you personally? I'm not saying people as a whole, bro. Like, cause that's where it gets
it's all in the
gray
system.
at.
It's all in the
How
system.
is
Though
it in the system when
it depends on the interaction. It depends, like for example, if the
so
judge.
when you grew up, bro, I'm saying you
Right.
personally, did anybody ever tell you that you could not go to a certain school because of your skin color?
No, not because of my
Okay.
skin color.
Did anybody?
But so it doesn't need to be skin color anymore because the way it was written, like for example, redlining, they wasn't saying when
Okay.
redlining
Did
was
you
going.
experience redlining?
No, I didn't. But a generation before me did.
Okay.
Not even a generation before me, because 20 years is not even a whole generation.
Okay, I
20 years
understand
before
that.
us,
But how? But my
and
point.
and it's still affected in Pittsburgh.
How?
How is redlining? Look at the demographic build up and or breakdown of where Pittsburgh is. Most of the people were in the Hill District, north side, like Perrysville. The breakdown we're all in the inner city.
Right.
That in itself is a redlining
Okay,
demographic.
but you see what's happening now. That's
It's a change. Now it's
but
getting
my point
gentrified.
my
now.
point is, it's changing because people are selling to them so they can live there. Nobody. So gentrification. Let's because people say that's racist, which it's not. There's no way that nobody that lives like in my neighborhood where I'm from, Manchester. Nobody that lives down there got a letter saying you have to leave if you own your house.
So listen, I think what you're doing. One of the things is you're taking racism, and so racism in America is really just a class issue. It comes down to the rich versus poor.
I agree. Classism is real. Racism,
So classism in America is racism. That's what because
you
the
have
poor.
to stop thinking like that, bro. There's rich black people, bro.
Right, but or would you not say that those can be considered outliers?
No, that's not an outlier. There's a lot of rich black people.
What percentage? So all right. So what do you? So the top 1% of African Americans make 100,000 or more, roughly.
Yes, I think there's a
That-
lot
do
more.
you not
people.
do you not believe that 1% of the population is considered an outlier? 1% of our population. I'm just
Yeah,
asking.
1% of white people make 100,000 or more too, bro.
Though that's also an outlier though.
Right.
But I see what you're saying. You're saying that it's on both sides. But when you look into about how all the other societal pressures are upon as far as prison, as far as we talked about housing, income, there's a lot of inequalities that people believe that racism is still very, very prevalent. Not necessarily Jim Crow level,
Bro,
but
I'm not.
how
All
it
right,
was written in the code.
racism is all right. Racism is a thing, bro. My point is, it is not stopping you from doing anything.
I can completely agree with.
That's what I'm
understand.
saying.
You yourself, like, you can
There,
go get it, like.
nobody is stopping you from doing anything. Nobody is. That's my point.
But so do you think? So on an individual, I completely agree. But what is your belief as far as a population? Do you think it's still? I believe it's more the after effects of anything. Cause I believe it's still a mindset that we're very, very involved with, and that really plagues us. We still have mindset of slaves in a lot of ways.
But that's a choice, bro. Cause who is we though? Like when you keep saying we, who is we?
So we ourselves can be considered outliers to our own population.
Okay.
So when I say we, I'm talking about our.
But I didn't grow up no different than everybody else. So what? So what?
Neither.
So
But
what?
we changed. So we were actually I was put in a position next to some scholarships to be able to change a lot, and based on a lot of my own doing as well as far as networking.
And those are
things
what
like
choices that you make, correct?
Correct. But the problem is, I had people that stepped in and where I was going I was going left and they said no, you need to go right. Not
Okay.
everybody has that, for example. And when it comes, look at our communities, bro. Like our communities, Chicago thing. Like when we're surrounded by our environment. And our environment really
Bro, there
raises
are
us, bro. Look at
square,
Southers,
bro.
look at
Listen,
Acres
listen,
Differential
bro.
Association.
Listen, this is what they make it seem like, bro. In Chicago, I 100% guarantee you there is niggas that grew up on O Block that never did nothing.
Oh yeah, just
They
like there's people in South Philly that never. I mean, like, but so listen to this. So listen, just because you never did nothing, you were still in that environment, seeing that.
okay, and they grew up and they went to work and they have a job and they raise their family and they have a and they
But
live
you-
a regular life.
But you have a different set of ideals, and that goes back to the. Have you ever read Code of the Streets?
No.
All right, so I'll have to share that with you. So Code of the Streets is basically like, so people that live in a location that is considered very urban, very down, very poor, have a whole different set of values, than the rest of the country. What would be
I
considered
agree
the rest
with
of the
that.
country.
I agree with that, bro. But what I'm saying is, everybody has a choice, bro. Nobody like everybody has a choice. That's just how I feel.
I feel you. That's what you feel. I believe that everybody. I do agree with you that everybody has a choice, but out of those choices, I believe where we are, we're given different options.
I don't agree
So-
with that, bro. There's the internet. What options are not available to you?
What do you mean?
If you have the internet, you can learn anything that you ever wanted to learn.
But so
people don't know
just
where
because
to
you
look
have
at.
just because you have the tool, you might not know how to use it.
How do you learn?
Like I could get, like you could get a Rubik's cube. You
How
don't
does
know how to
anybody?
solve it.
How do people learn TikTok dances, bro? It's all about what you want to do.
So yeah, but I think that's
Say more
yeah,
trial and error.
that's a lot less complex.
Bro,
What
I'm
you're-
saying anything. Like if that's what. How do people learn about their favorite rapper? How do people learn about the shape, bro? It's all about what you put your mind, like what you're trying to be involved in, bro.
But you're also asking people to learn something, like to learn what something is, and to completely overhaul and overcome experiences is something I feel that is completely different. Now you might not necessarily agree with that, but that's just where I'm coming from looking at it. Because it, like, learning to TikTok dance, learning about something, learning about where your favorite rapper is from, who he is, that's completely, learning that information, knowing what it is completely different from the choices you've made up until
I
this
don't
point.
feel like it is because those are choices, bro. I know people that do that all day, and I decide to watch podcasts and I decide to read, and that's what changed my life. There's people that literally do that all day, and that's what they still do. So they have never grown, bro.
So a lot of people are scared to grow though, and a lot of people also don't have the mental
Capacity.
not even mental capacity, bro, just mental discipline. Like discipline is a whole nother ball game that you got to teach yourself, and that not everybody had, like, to teach yourself discipline, bro, is a whole nother ball game. Like you have to put yourself in a whole, like, different
But that's
environment.
not white or black.
I agree it's not white or black, but I feel like it is a lot harder because discipline requires focus. Yes or no?
It does.
So I feel like it is a whole hell of a lot easier for a white kid to focus on the average.
When you're a kid, I agree. When you are a child, I agree because you cannot control your environment. I agree.
That goes into how, so with Sutherland, for example, Sutherland and Acres Differential Association, which is associated, which basically tells and believes that our environment basically shapes us 9 times out of 10. We're a blank slate, and whatever our environment is, that's basically what we created to be. So how do you think the kid who doesn't have control of their environment perceives his choices as through his, because so perception is our reality, is an individual's reality.
I agree.
Through his perception, through his lens of how he sees the world, how do you think he might see those choices different than you? Based off of just one circumstance that he went through, based off of another one. Like there's trauma that we, like, there's trauma that we view shit differently, bro.
Yeah, trauma,
So,
but trauma doesn't.
trauma changes everybody differently though as well.
You're right, bro. I agree, but I'm saying you still have choices, bro. That's all I'm saying.
And I think I just don't think it's so black and white. I definitely don't. I think it's a lot more gray.
I feel you, but I definitely.
Nah, I feel you. No, I definitely feel where you're coming from, and I feel that you explained it a lot better that I really wasn't able to understand just based off of, or somebody else wasn't able to understand based off of what they see on Twitter.
Bro, it's just a lot of reasons to stay in your position, bro. I'm no excuses. Like anything, this is just how I am, and this is how I feel like I became who I am. It's just I take responsibility for everything, bro. If something goes wrong, like if right now, like my contractor did some stupid shit today, but I took responsibility for it because I should have been there earlier to be able to make sure that they set the wood up the way it was supposed to. I'm not about to get into the details, but that it was set up correctly. Even though he's a contractor, he's a professional, he should have knew that. But I should have got out the bed earlier instead of drinking the night before and being in the bed. I could have prevented that. I'm not gonna say, man, he's a dumbass, I'm not behind him again. I'm gonna be like, yo, if I was there, I would have made it. It would have been a difference. I just take responsibility for everything in my life, bro.
Okay, so you set those ideas and those morals very close to you. Yeah, I think he's in the Nation of Islam. Y'all can come get him. Nah, but no. I definitely feel you. Y'all said we got like 5 minutes. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
We could.
So yeah, we got a couple little quick hitter questions, some viewer questions. First one's from Bone. Shout out Bone. She wants to know who got the best chicken in the bird.
Man, I'm vegan now, but before I was vegan, best chicken, Big Shot Bob's. Yeah, Big Shot Bob's.
Big Shot Bob's,
or
really?
Milano's.
Milano, isn't that the one that we don't eat at no more?
Man.
Alright, yeah. See this man. See, here he go. Yeah, we don't eat at Milano's no more. Yeah, see, now they about to really hate. If they ain't hate you already, yo. Man, look, I'm gonna say it for him. Protect black women, cause I believe that.
Amen.
All right, bro.
Go ahead, man. Right, Milano's or Big Shot Bob.
We cutting it. Hey, yo, much love. We really appreciate having Mogul Mo on here, man. We're so glad for y'all tuning into the Code Breakers. We got some more content coming out soon. Before we go, I want to shout out to Venture Skin, shout out D Page, man, and shout out Keith, man. Shout out Good Keith Sweat. Shout out it's been a long year. It's been a very, very long year. Shout out the gang, man. We love y'all. And yeah, let's cut it.